The 2021 NJASCD Dr. Ernest L. Boyer Outstanding Educator Award winner is Dr. Mary Reece. Following her distinguished career in Irvington Township Public Schools, the New Jersey Department of Education, and Edison Township Public Schools, where she served as a supervisor, assistant principal, and was among the first members of NJPSA, Mary Reece joined the staff at FEA, first as a developer of NJXL and Associate Director of School Leadership Programs, and now as Director of Special Projects. In this role, she identifies educational, social-emotional, arts-integrated, and leadership issues, and works to secure grants with government sources and nonprofit foundations to address these critical needs. For FEA, Mary Reece is the grant guru.
I've had the opportunity to work with executive directors, presidents, and CEOs from a whole host of foundations. The Sands Foundation, the Nicholson Foundation, the Burke Foundation, the Princeton Area Community Foundation, most recently the New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund, the Taub Foundation. And a lot of that comes from the work. The work speaks for itself. So other funders will see what's happening and they'll say, well, why don't you go talk to FEA? Because, they do quality work and they're able to move forward with initiatives. It was during a council meeting toward the end of September. I was sitting in the back of our conference room, and lo and behold, there was the letter. We got the award. So I remember walking up around the front to show Pat, and tell her, and then she announced it to everybody. So that's how we found out about the award.
That was a great announcement. We found out in the middle of the council meeting that we'd received the $5 million 5-year school leadership program grant through the U.S. Department of Education, and that was Mary's baby. She had worked so diligently on that grant application and gave us an opportunity to build relationships and support the 3 school districts involved in the grant, high needs districts of Millville, Bridgeton, and Trenton.
Mary has a undying commitment to leadership, developing leadership, and in areas where we necessarily didn't think we would fit in this program, Mary was able to show us how we could fit in the program, and not just fit in the program, but thrive in that portion of the grant. We also had a number of our administrators go through the NJXL program, and we still have some going through the NJXL program, but yes, they are now in either leadership positions in our district or in other districts.
But what I do with all of these projects is I include a team approach. So we ask for central office people, principal, if there's a supervisor, and teachers to be involved in the team. And coaching is a must. So not only do we train teams in whatever the content might be, but we make sure that there are trained coaches who work with the teams to make sure the projects are implemented appropriately.
I'm not quite sure what I was hoping to get out of the grant, but I can assure you we got way more than I ever imagined that we would be able to get out of the grant. We had an opportunity to train administrators and teachers in leadership, not just leadership for traditional leadership, but also teacher leadership practices.
Last year, it was the Burke Foundation and the Geraldine R. Dodge Foundation that came and said, would you please put together a blueprint for looking at ACEs and trauma?
Healing-centered engagement. My goodness, that is so needed because what we're talking about is traumatization. Unfortunately, children bring that to school. We, as educators, have to be able to recognize it and address it. What better way to address trauma than to train administrators, train leaders to look for signs for trauma so that you can help that child?
She began to formulate a vision that focused on the healing-centered part of it rather than the adverse childhood experiences. And so that became the central focus, this healing-centered engagement.
We didn't want to address it from a negative perspective, and we rather do it from a healing-centered engagement perspective. It talks about rather than what's wrong with you. Like, how can we provide an environment where you will thrive regardless of your past?
And they came to us asking if we would deliver a program throughout the state with coaches and what they call trusted messengers with their expertise to help us deliver assistance in mental health. It was so successful that, and this is Mary again, it was so successful that they are repeating it this year.
Mary's passion for the arts has always been well known, and so she's been involved in grants and working with districts in arts integration, which has been an incredible program over the years.
A student would not be well-rounded without the arts in his or her life. And I strongly believe this. I'm not an artist by training. I'm a lover of the arts. I'm a consumer of the arts. And I was very glad when our former executive director asked me to serve on the new steering committee of Arts Ed New Jersey. And so we became a 501c3. I became board chair of Arts Ed New Jersey. And it's been an amazing ride.
I think having somebody like Mary who is so completely dedicated to giving students that opportunity and never letting the arts programs become second fiddle, no pun intended, to the other programming in school is critical. And she is just second to none at doing that.
I would not be where I am today without her mentoring, without her guidance.
Mary is the kind of person who wears her heart on her sleeve and is accessible to any and everybody.
Mary continued helping others and helping the children and helping parents no matter where she goes.
Mary, I know you don't do things for accolades. You are a consummate community builder and systems changer who instead thrives on taking bold ideas to fruition.
I enjoy her because of the type of person that she is and because we both share a commonality for quality education that is equitable for all children.
Selecting Dr. Reece for this year's Boyer Award gives well-deserved recognition to Mary's lifelong career devoted to public education and to New Jersey's children.
She can never leave. No matter what, she has to be here.
Mary's a wonderful person. She is funny and she's engaging. She's very personable. She understands that in working with colleagues, building these personal relationships is essential for us to work together. And she's a lovely, lovely woman.
I can't think of another person or a better person who should receive the award.
I really love my job. I love working with the people here at NJPSA and FEA. And I really, really, really appreciate the collaborations that I've developed over the years. And it enriches me. Having those kinds of relationships makes me a stronger, better person.
Congratulations to my fellow awardees. Let's hold on to this glow. It really is an exciting day. Approximately 25 years ago, I had the distinct opportunity, through my involvement with NAESD, to meet Hillary Rodham Clinton, who had just authored the book, It Takes a Village. Her message that it requires the role of society to make children smart, able, and resilient adults really resonated with me. I echo her story so many years later as I accept this amazing award. I have my own village. It is composed of my loving family and friends, wonderful mentors, college professors, and my colleagues. Early in my graduate work at Rutgers, a professor suggested to me that there are important steps to take to become a leader. Heady advice at age 25. The first step she recommended was to become involved in my professional association, which I did. As a teacher and subsequent supervisor, I became the president of my content area state association. And that led to future leadership roles within NJPSA and then on to the board of the National Association of Elementary School Principals. Throughout, I maintained my involvement with NJASCD. I have valued my camaraderie with this relevant and critical association, most recently with our new leadership, President Natalie Franzi-Doherty, and Executive Director Ann Nucci. My years spent with retired Executive Director Maria Dare have fulfilled and enriched me. Our ventures into the high school redesign initiative and Common Core standards reform are memorable. And I also recall fondly my endeavors with Rich Flame, Marie's predecessor, particularly offering our annual Holocaust conferences. I thank all of you in my village for this prestigious award. May everyone have a similar village experience. Thank you, everyone.